Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Hexblade Warlock build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a modded subclass that was added to the mod manager itself, and it's actually a very cool subclass because we got a lot of unique benefits. This was a highly requested one, so I had to cover this here. But the Hexblade, you've made a pact with a mysterious entity from the Shadowfell. A force manifested sentient magic weapons carved from the stuff of Shadow. The mighty sword Black Razor is the most notable of these weapons, which have been spread across the multiverse over the ages. The shadowy force behind these weapons can offer the power to Warlock who forms pacts with it. Many Hexblade Warlocks create weapons that emulate those both formed in the Shadowfell. Other forego such arms, content to weave the dark magic of the planes of their spell casting. Now, we get some cool cantrips. Obviously, we're going to take Eldritch Blast. It's pretty much a non-negotiable. You always want to have that. If you have the 5th edition mods, you also will get things like the Lightning Lure and Green Flame Blade, which is pretty fancy. There are some other ones, like if you got other mods that add different cantrips, but you can just go with a classic Minor Illusion. This is great for outside of combat, or even a Mage Hand is also pretty nice. I'm just going to take Green Flame Blade because it fits the Hexblade here, but we also get the Hexblade's Curse. So a curse is placed upon your target. The curse will end if you or your target die. When the curse ends, you deal additional 2 damage against the target, and you roll a critical hit on a 19 instead, and on 20. And if the curse target dies, you regain 4 health points. So you get a bunch of health points back for taking out a target. You also get the Bind Pact. This is a bonus action too, by the way. And then we also get the Bind Weapon. So the influence of your patron also allows you to magically channel your will through a particular weapon. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch one weapon that you're proficient with, but it lacks a 2-handed property. When you attack with that weapon, use your charisma modifier instead of strength or dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. So similar to the Pact of the Blade, but at level 1. Now for our spells, I like shield, but it burns through your warlock spell slot, so I wouldn't actually recommend going with that. Armor of Agathis can be pretty nice for temporary health and cold damage. Hex is good too, because this will deal additional damage, but we already have the Hexblade's Curse, which does function a similar feature. So Hellish Rebuke for a reaction is nice, because reactions give you extra damage, and then even Arms of Hadar can be a good one to go with. And for our ability scores, I think it's best to go, obviously, we're going to want to have our Dexterity at 16 for higher armor class, and then we go with a 16 for Charisma as well. It's for spell casting modifiers, so that's what we'll roll with there. I'll be covering all the gear and everything else related to that near the end, as well as a combat demonstration, but we'll now get into the leveling guide. So at level 2, we do get another spell choice, so we could take like our Armor of Agathis, or even Wrathful Smite is pretty nice. Potentially frighten a target. They have disadvantage on ability checks. Deals additional psychic damage. And we do get extra options for Eldritch Invocations. Obviously, it's tempting to take the Agonizing Blast and the Repelling Blast, but we do also get the Devil's Sight here. Eldritch Mind, so it gives you advantage on Constitution saving throws that you make to maintain your concentration on a spell. Although, if you have the Amulet of Greater Health, that already gives you that. The Eldritch Spear, though, gives you an increased range of Eldritch Blast, so the range of your Eldritch Blast is more than doubled, which is awesome. So you can go with that instead of, if you want to take, like Agonizing Blast adds damage, so that's nice, but Repelling Blast, we could take Repelling a little bit later on, so we can take our Eldritch Spear there. The Grasp of Hadar, once per turn when you hit a creature with Eldritch Blast, you can pull that creature in a straight line towards you by 3 meters. So that's another option. You can pull them towards you instead of pushing them back. I think pushing back works a little bit better because it's typically going to allow you to knock them off of cliffs. The Lance of Lethargy here, once per turn when you hit an creature with Eldritch Blast, you can reduce that creature speed by -3 meters until the end of next turn. That's a really great one as well, which we'll take a little bit later on. So we'll go with those two there, giving us increased Eldritch Blast range. And then for our level 2 spell, we do get some options like, I love Hold Person, that's always a good one. Misty Step is useful, but I don't like using a spell slot from the Warlock on this. Although if you got any type of, there's boots and there's a necklace that'll give you Misty Step, I'd recommend those over top of it. Although Darkness is a really nice spell, so we could go that route there. And we get to pick a Pact Boon. Now the Hexblade just makes sense to go with the Pact of the Blade, giving us the ability to get an extra attack with this weapon. Pact of the Chain also being a pretty nice one, but I do think that's best to go with Pact of the Blade here, giving us extra weapon attack. And the Pact of the Blade already gives us an option to add our Charisma modifier to that, so something that we already have, but it's nice to get that there. So next we get to pick another cantrip. I'm going to take, like, Toll the Dead can be pretty cool, which is another nice, useful 5e spell. Bone Chill is good too, so if you don't have that, take Bone Chill. Booming Blade's another nice one, which deals thunder damage, which is pretty fun. Even Frostbite's good to give disadvantage on the next attack roll. So a few different options for cantrips if we got any type of niche that we need to filled. And for our next level spell, I think Hold Person just reigns supreme there, so we'll go with that for increased ability to just lock the enemy down in place. And we'll take an ability score improvement to improve our charisma, which is going to give us better attack rolls, better spell rolls, better face skills. We got our Deepened Pact here, which is nice, and we also get an option for another spell. And we can take even Elemental Weapon, which is fun, but I also don't love using a spell slot on this, so you could have the Drake Throat Glaive to give you Elemental Weapon if you want. That's another option you got. Vampiric Touch fits the theming of this build pretty well, so you could go that route. Hunger of Hadar, it's always my favorite choice for this. I don't like using Counterspell because this is, it's going to burn through your spell slots really quickly, but you could take it up potentially. And even Fear is a good spell, but we get some more options for Eldritch Invocations here. So, Cloak of Flies. You surround yourself with a magical aura reminiscent of Cloud of Flies. This gives you advantage in Intimidation, but disadvantage on all other charisma checks. Any hostile creature who enters this aura takes poison damage equal to your charisma modifier. So, that's pretty interesting. Not something you'd use often, but has its uses. Once per long rest, you can cast Animate Dead without using a spell slot. So that's great to give yourselves the Undying Servant necromancy spell. Tomb of Levistus. When you take damage, you can entomb yourself in ice, which melts away at the end of your next turn. You gain 10 temporary health points per warlock level, but take as much of the triggering damage as possible. Immediately after you take the damage, you gain vulnerability to fire damage, and your speed is reduced to 0, and you are incapacitated. This effects include all temporary health points and all effects when the ice ends. So it's another interesting feature that you can get, giving yourself a bit more tankiness, but I do like to go with either Devil's Sight for the ability to see in magical darkness, and even something like the Lance of Lethargy, giving you a ability to slow down the target is nice. I'm going to go with, I guess Repelling Blast 2 is also pretty great, so you could go that route, or Devil's Sight. If you use Darkness a lot, go Devil's Sight. That's just going to be good. And we also get the extra attack for the Warlock there. And here we get a Summon Spectre, so summon the soul of a perished target you cursed to fight under your command, which is great, bonus action. And then we get ourselves another spell slot here, so you can take like Vampiric Touch if you want to be able to take some health and heal yourself with it, so that is another option, or Fear. Hits in a cone, and it can make enemies drop their weapons and get disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, which is great, because Fear is actually pretty good. I'm going to take that. Not a lot of people use it, but it is a good spell. Now, level 7, we get the option to take like Staggering Smite, possibly stagger your target. It can't take reactions, more likely to miss. Phantasmal Killer. So, haunt a creature, giving 4 to 10 psychic damage per turn. It's pretty good, extra damage. I'm going to go with that there, because the 46 psychic damage is actually really good. Having the equivalent of a 4th level smite is nice on a warlock, so we can use this for extra damage. And if we got the Resonant Stone, that's double damage. So we also get some more Eldritch Invocations here, so Relentless Hex. Your curse creates a temporary bond between you and your target. As a bonus action, you can magically teleport to 12 meters to an unoccupied space you can see within 1.5 meters of the target cursed by your Hex spell. To teleport this way, you must be able to see the Hex target. So that's pretty good. You can move yourself around if they try to escape. And Trickster's Escape. Once per long rest, you can cast free no movement without expending a spell slot, which can be good, but you can also get that camp spell prepared. Book of Ancient Secrets and Dreadful Word also works there. But you can even go back and take yourself like the Repelling Blast, which is obviously a really great one, or Grasp of Hadar if you want to pull them towards you. I'm going to go with the Relentless Hex there, though, because that's a pretty nice extra ability to teleport around and get closer to a target that you've hexed. And then at level 8, we get ourselves a level 4 spell, so we can take like Phantasmal Killer if you want, Psychic Damage being all the rage. And then we're going to take an ability score improvement to take Charisma up to 20, although Alert for +5 initiative is another great choice, so we're going to go with that there, because this impacts both our spell save DC as well as our spell attack rolls, and our ability to attack with our weapon. So, pretty good. We also get awesome spell slot choices. So we got Banishing Smite, Cone of Cold being one of my favorite spells. I'm going to take that there because it's just so useful. And if you have water set up with like a mage hand, you can throw water bottles and deal double damage. So an upwards of 128 damage there. But Banishing Smite being another really nice one. Banish the target to another plate of existence. This is like a level 5 smite with force damage, which is a great damage type. Hold Monster also being a really good spell, so you could go with either of those. We also get our Conjure Elemental with the Warlock spell slot, so that's great. I like Minions of Chaos, so we're going to go with that there for our option, but you can go to one of the previous Eldritch Invocations if you'd like. They all work pretty great. And at level 10, we get our Armor of Hexes, so your Hex grow more powerful. If the target of your curse hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to roll to cause the attack to miss you. Pretty great, so Hex away. We also got another cantrip, so as I said, Mage Hand to be able to set up water, or even Shape Water to be able to move it is pretty good, or Frostbite for cold damage. Lightning Lure even. We'll go Mage Hand because we'll typically be Eldritch Blasting. And then Banishing Smite, level 5 Smite with force damage and potentially banishing it if it has less than 40 or less than 50 health points is pretty good. Also, Hold Monster being a pretty nice option there. Now the Warlock doesn't get any further spells at level 6 or level 6 spells, so we get our extra Warlock spell slot here, so that's great. We also get the Mystic Arcanum, which gives us spells like Eye Bite, Create Undead, Flesh to Stone. Circle of Death probably being my favorite here because it's great if you have an Undead Servant because it won't take damage from you. True Seeing Touch a creature, it can see invisible creatures and pierce the planes with its eyes. This is a 5e spell. We also have Crimson Leech, which is another spell from one of these mods that I have. 12d6 necrotic plus 40. So it's not bad. Drain the blood of a target. If the 52 to 112 necrotic damage reduces to 0 health points, it disintegrates into a crumbly ash. Deal 40 damage to the caster or no damage if the caster is bleeding. So that's just if you have the mod there. But even Create Undead is good. But Circle of Death is what we'll use here. And this doesn't use a spell slot, so once per long rest. I'll take Hold Monster here. That's a really good choice to have. And then on our final level, we get ourselves the Master's Hexblade Curse. So a curse is placed on your target. The curse will end if your target dies or if you are incapacitated. You deal an additional 4 damage against the cursed target, and if the cursed target dies, you regain 17 health points. So very nice. And then we can take a earlier level spell here. Vampiric Touch if you want something to heal yourself with. Or Counterspell if you really want to go that route. But we already got what we want. Now we get the ability to get Life Drinker here. So attacks with your pack weapon, deal additional necrotic damage equal to your Charisma modifier. Huge choice. And then we'll take Alert for the +5 to Initiative. So I'll go over to Armor here now. This is a pretty cool build because it's strong. But not too strong. So basically we got ourselves... I guess I can swap out some of this equipment here to put on what works best. I like the Hood of the Weave for +2 to spell save attack and spell save DC. You also can go with Helmet of Arcane Acuity. So whenever you do weapon attacks, you gain Arcane Acuity for giving increased spell save DC. Cloak of Protection for +1, and same Boots Protection, Ring of Protection for 21 armor class. If we use a shield, we get ourselves 24 armor class. I'd recommend even like Will's Rapier is a pretty good one if you want to go that route, so you can go potentially that. I also like for armor, the Ballist armor works really well. We got our Vest of Soul Rejuvenation if we want to. I guess that lowers armor class, but the Ballist armor gives us the ability to give resistance to, or gives enemies vulnerability to piercing damage and +2 to initiative, so we'll pretty much always be going first. So yeah, we'll roll with the Ballist armor there. Helldusk Gloves for +1 to spell attack roll, spell save DC, and we got Viconia's Walking Fortress there. Crypt Lording for the Create Undead spell is nice, but we can also, since we're focusing on melee attacks, go with Killer Sweetheart there, and then Ring of Protection. Amulet of Greater Health for increasing our Constitution to 135 health. So typically what we want to be doing is summoning in our, going with, I guess, Bind Weapon here, so we can bind a melee weapon or bind a ranged weapon, and we also got the ability to bind our Pact weapon, so we'll go with this here, binding that, and then we can bind that as well. Basically, I guess you could only really do one of those, but I just wanted to try that out there. And we also got Relentless Hex to teleport there, and we got our Master's Hexblade Curse. So always be cursing a target. This is just something super useful, gives you extra damage. So we'll leave camp, show you what this will look like, and give a little bit of a demonstration here. So I guess I'll shut this door here and try to take out Figaro here, so we can cast that. And we'll go into turn-based mode. So he's hexed, and then we can just go ahead with our Wrathful Smite doing a ton of damage, or Booming Blade cantrip, or even our Banishing Smite if we wanted to. But I'm just going to go with a simple main hand weapon attack because this will likely take him out. And boom, he's now dead, so we can leave our turn-based mode. And he gets 17 health for healing that, so that's awesome. And then we can use our Summon Spectre to reanimate the target, and that gives us a Curse Spectre there, which has 22 plus 6 damage, and then it also has the Life Drain attack. So yeah, we get ourselves a zombie to go and attack with. That's pretty good. So we'll go out and we'll start a bit of combat here because, yeah, we're gonna be strong. We can also summon in our like elementals if you want to, so we can go with a water elemental there, and then I'll just short rest to get that back, and then start off our combat. So let's go here. Likely something will happen because we started a fight there, but yeah, we got a lot of options. So like Hunger of Hadar being a fun one to start off with, Cone of Cold, Booming Blade, but we got our Master's Hexblade Curse that we typically want to be starting with as much as possible. But getting Cone of Cold is a really great spell, so we'll take advantage of having that there. Just trying to line them up as much as we possibly can. I guess we can go into turn-based mode and then take our Water Elemental and then go do a Water Splash attack here, which can set up some further water damage. So we'll just go with this here. Creates water, and then, yeah, I know we're starting combat. So now I get to go next, and that's where we drop our Cone of Cold. So, boom. This target will take extra damage, so we'll likely take them out. Oh yeah, we took out a lot of targets with that. And if you don't take them out, you can always use your curse, and then you're going to be able to teleport them on your next turn. So we curse them, and it's basically like Hex but free, which is awesome. And we'll go with a Spike Growth here, giving a bit of extra crowd control, and then we'll both that. But the Hexblade, basically what you want to be doing in combat is basically setting your hexes on the most powerful target, and then going and attacking them with your weapon as much as possible, sticking on them, because you're going to heal yourself if you take them out. So you're kind of prioritized to be the one dealing the damage to take them out. So yeah, go for that as much as possible. And then you also have your zombies there, so you got the ability to summon in some extra zombies for damage. That was a pretty strong Hellish Rebuke there. And yeah, we can also do a lot of things like that, which not what we want to be doing, but just want to end the video on a funny note. So thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video useful, hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Boom.